A long time ago, back in the 1780s, Benjamin Franklin, the founding father of the United States of America, wrote that nothing in this world can be said to be certain except death and taxes. Well, I'm sure I'm not the only one who laughed out loud a few weeks back when our guest on the watering hole, Jeremy Marshall, quipped that having spent a life in private banking, that statement can be said to be only partly true. But death is unavoidable. Well, not quite such a long time ago, when I was in my early 20s, I had the same kind of thought. And it occurred to me back then that there was nothing in my life, really, that couldn't be taken away from me, even in one day. As a 23-year-old, life doesn't tend to add up to much, and mine certainly didn't. But it dawned on me back then that everything I'd accomplished up to that point and everything that I was hoping to build my life on, everything I was wanting to get out of life, was ultimately not certain. And there was nothing that I was really in control of. And that thought really shook me. It was uncomfortable, it was unsettling, and for me it was the start of a journey into a new life of faith in Jesus Christ. But I wonder, maybe you've been having that kind of a thought too, particularly at a time like this when so many things that we tend to take for granted have been shown to be a lot less certain than we might have thought they were. Well, in the really distant past, perhaps as much as several thousand years ago, a man called Job, that we read about in the Bible, knew what it was to literally lose everything without warning. His wealth, his children, his health, his looks, his status, the respect of his wife, even his friends turn out to be no real friends at all. But Job's immediate reaction shows that he is a man who understands a deeper reality. He says, "Naked I came from my mother's womb. Naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." Job is deeply honest about the pain and the trauma that his circumstances cause him. It's so bad at one point that he wishes he'd never been born, and for over 30 chapters he searches for the reasons for what has happened to him. And then in the middle of this search, Job says something in the 19th chapter that absolutely blows me away. And these verses 25 to 27, have become a favorite of mine over the years. Job says this: "I know that my Redeemer lives, and that in the end he will stand on the earth. And after my skin has been destroyed, yet in my flesh I will see God. I myself will see him with my own eyes, I and not another. How my heart yearns within me." Well, we don't know for sure exactly when Job lived. Some have suggested that he was a contemporary of Abraham. We know that he was speaking years, many years before Jesus Christ, the Redeemer, walked on earth as a man and uttered these words: "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me will live, even though they die." And then went on to prove the truth of that saying by rising to life 3 days after his death on the cross. Job, this ancient man of faith, speaks of his certain belief and heartfelt longing for the Redeemer who has the power to cause him to live beyond death and to see God with his own eyes. And thinking back to the hopelessness and powerlessness that I felt in that thought all those years ago, Job's "I know" reassures me that when all the uncertainties of life are stripped away, it is possible to have a sure and certain faith in a personal, loving, and ultimately powerful Redeemer that can remain unshaken by circumstance, a source of true hope, which in the end will find its fulfillment in life with God beyond death. So, Benjamin Franklin, writing all those years ago, I might want to add something to your statement. Nothing in this world can be said to be certain except death and taxes, and the gift of eternal life that is available to anyone who will receive it through faith in Jesus Christ, the living Redeemer. God bless.